Pakistan just made a diplomatic move that caught South Africa completely off guard, and it's reshaping the entire geopolitical landscape between Asia and Africa. This isn't just another trade deal or cricket rivalry. What Pakistan did has massive implications for how Africa positions itself on the global stage. I'm talking about Pakistan's sudden pivot in its Africa strategy, specifically targeting South Africa as its gateway to the continent. And the numbers behind this shift will blow your mind. We are looking at a potential 300% increase in bilateral trade, new defense partnerships, and a complete realignment that could change how the West views Africa's growing independence. Let me break down exactly what's happening, why Pakistan chose South Africa over traditional partners like Nigeria or Kenya, and what this means for Africa's rise as a global powerhouse. To understand this shocking development, we need to go back to the foundations. Pakistan and South Africa have had diplomatic relations since 1948, but for decades, this relationship was overshadowed by Cold War politics and apartheid tensions. Pakistan was actually one of the first countries to impose trade sanctions on apartheid South Africa in the 1960s. But here's where it gets interesting. After 1994, when Nelson Mandela came to power, Pakistan saw an opportunity. The numbers tell the story. Bilateral trade between Pakistan and South Africa was barely $200 million in 2000. Today, we are looking at over $800 million annually, and Pakistan wants to push that to $2.5 billion by 2027. The historical context is crucial because Pakistan learned from China's playbook in Africa. While China focused on infrastructure and resource extraction, Pakistan is taking a different approach. They are focusing on technology transfer, defense cooperation, and what they call South-South collaboration. This isn't colonialism 2.0. This is partnership between developing nations. Like this video if you want to see more Africans learn about these strategic partnerships that mainstream media won't tell you about. Here's what just happened that has everyone talking. Last month, Pakistan's Prime Minister made an unprecedented announcement. Pakistan is establishing its largest African trade hub in Johannesburg, with a $500 million investment commitment over the next 3 years. But that's not the shocking part. The shocking part is what Pakistan offered South Africa in return. Full technology transfer for Pakistan's nuclear energy program, the same technology that made Pakistan a nuclear power. We are talking about clean energy solutions that could solve South Africa's electricity crisis within 5 years. But it gets deeper. Pakistan also offered something no Western country has: complete defense technology sharing, including Pakistan's indigenously developed JF-17 Thunder fighter jets, maritime defense systems, and most importantly cybersecurity infrastructure. This is massive because South Africa has been struggling with cyber attacks on its government systems, and Pakistan has some of the most advanced cyber defense capabilities in the developing world. The current bilateral trade breakdown shows why this partnership makes perfect sense. Pakistan imports $400 million worth of South African minerals, gold, platinum, and diamonds. South Africa imports $380 million in Pakistani textiles, rice, and pharmaceutical products. But the real opportunity lies in services and technology sectors worth potentially $10 billion combined. Subscribe for more honest, Pan-African analysis that you won't find on CNN or BBC because they don't want you to see Africa winning. Let's talk about who's driving this partnership. On Pakistan's side, you have Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who personally championed this Africa strategy. His brother Nawaz Sharif has business interests across Africa dating back to the 1990s. These aren't politicians making empty promises, these are businessmen who understand profit. On South Africa's side, President Cyril Ramaphosa sees Pakistan as a crucial partner for his economic transformation agenda. But the real power player here is Ibrahim Patel, South Africa's Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition. Patel has been quietly building this Pakistan relationship for 2 years, and his strategy is brilliant. Here's the genius move: South Africa is using Pakistan as a bridge to the entire Muslim world, 1.8 billion people across 57 countries. Pakistan has deep relationships with Saudi Arabia, UAE, Turkey, and Indonesia. Through Pakistan, South Africa gains access to markets worth $8 trillion combined. The Chinese factor is also crucial. China is Pakistan's largest trading partner and South Africa's largest trading partner. This Pakistan-South Africa partnership creates a triangular relationship that bypasses Western financial systems entirely. We are talking about trade in local currencies, alternative payment systems, and what economists call de-dollarization. But there's a wild card: India. India has been South Africa's traditional Asian partner, but Pakistan's aggressive courting of South Africa is forcing India to reconsider its Africa strategy. This competition benefits Africa. When two powers compete for your attention, you win. This Pakistan-South Africa partnership isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a larger pattern of African countries diversifying their international relationships. And this is where the Pan-African implications become massive. First, this sets a precedent. If Pakistan can successfully partner with South Africa as equals, not as donor and recipient, it shows other middle powers like Turkey, Iran, and Brazil that Africa is open for business on African terms. We are moving from aid dependency to trade partnership. Second, the technology transfer element is revolutionary. Western countries have always been reluctant to share cutting-edge technology with African nations. Pakistan's willingness to share nuclear energy technology, defense systems, and cyber capabilities signals a new era where developing nations support each other's growth. Third, this creates a buffer against Western economic pressure. When the US or EU threatens sanctions, countries like South Africa now have alternative partners. Pakistan proved this works despite years of Western pressure over its nuclear program. Pakistan maintained its sovereignty through partnerships with China, Saudi Arabia, and others. The numbers are staggering. If this Pakistan model is replicated across Africa, we're looking at potentially $200 billion in new South-South trade by 2030. Countries like Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, and Ghana are already watching this partnership closely. Looking ahead, this Pakistan-South Africa axis could reshape global trade patterns. We are potentially witnessing the birth of what analysts call the Johannesburg-Karachi corridor, a trade and technology pipeline that connects South Asia with Southern Africa. The immediate implications are clear: South Africa gets energy security, defense capabilities, and market access. Pakistan gets mineral resources, a manufacturing base in Africa, and strategic depth. But the long-term implications are what should excite every Pan-Africanist. This partnership proves that Africa doesn't need to choose between East and West. Africa can build its own partnerships based on mutual benefit and respect. When Pakistan treats South Africa as an equal partner, not a junior partner, it shows the world that Africa has options. The timeline looks like this. Phase 1 involved the establishment of the Johannesburg Trade Hub by 2025. Phase 2 includes technology transfer programs starting in 2026. Phase 3 envisions a broader Pakistan-Southern African Development Community partnership by 2028. We are looking at a complete transformation of South-South cooperation. For the rest of Africa, this sends a clear message: strategic partnerships with middle powers like Pakistan, Turkey, and Brazil can deliver results that traditional Western partnerships haven't. Africa is rising not just economically, but diplomatically. Subscribe and ring that notification bell because this story is just beginning, and I'll be tracking every development that shows Africa taking control of its destiny. The bottom line is this: Pakistan's bold move with South Africa represents everything the Pan-African movement stands for: self-determination, mutual respect, and prosperity through partnership. This isn't just Pakistan versus South Africa or even Pakistan with South Africa. This is about Africa showing the world that we have options, we have leverage, and we're no longer accepting junior partner status in global affairs. What do you think about this Pakistan-South Africa partnership? Does it signal a new era of South-South cooperation, or are there risks I haven't covered? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and your insights often shape my next videos. And if you found this analysis valuable, check out my video on how Turkey is making similar moves in East Africa, link in the description. The rise of middle power partnerships with Africa is the story Western media doesn't want you to understand, but it's the story that will define the next decade. Africa is rising, and these partnerships prove it.